How bad is the current, what's the state of the evangelical intelligentsia? Because I feel like they've suffered a pretty brutal shellacking, probably due to you more than anyone else thus far. The proof in that, I thought Megan was the other day watching Russell Moore get more excoriated on his Romans 13 commentary than I've ever seen Twitter light up in regards to him.
Yeah.
Give us some of your thoughts
shut down comments
on all of that.
Yeah, he now blocks comments so people can't respond to him, which I find amusing. But yeah, I mean, I think we kind of came out of the fever of 2020 and COVID and Black Lives Matter, and there was this sort of pulling back of the curtain so people could see what was going on. And I did contribute to that, and others did, you as well. And I'm really grateful for that. But I think what we're seeing now is what I'm kind of dubbing the Great Rehab Tour.
Okay.
So you're seeing all of these figures who took those positions now trying to claim that they didn't take those positions or that's not what they meant. And so they're trying to sort of reposition themselves as conservative now, like they were there the whole time. And, you know, one of those figures is...
Great Rehab Tour.
Yeah, the Great Rehab Tour. So you see Greer has been out on the Great Rehab Tour, kind of trying to claim that, when I did those things during Black Lives Matter, when I said you must use the slogan Black Lives Matter because it's a gospel issue, I was not aligning with the group, even though I said you need to use their slogan. That doesn't wash, obviously. And he's also kind of done some interesting things, like said, when I took steps, and this will be a little deep in the weeds for those who aren't Southern Baptists, but, you know, at the time in 2020, he retired this historic gavel that had been used for hundreds of years within the Southern Baptist Convention because it had been owned by a chaplain in the antebellum era who at one point was pro-slavery, but eventually repented of that and came to recognize it as sin. But this was a piece of history. It was an historical artifact within the Southern Baptist Convention. So when you had BLM and all of these activists tearing down statues, he did the, big virtue signal of, I'm going to retire this gavel.
Isn't Christianity so attractive now? See what I did?
Right. And so at the time, it was very obvious why he was doing that. And he wanted to change the name of the Southern Baptist Convention to the Great Commission Baptist.
Wow.
Right. And today, Greer is trying to say, that's not why I did those things. It was just a coincidence. I just wanted to use a different gavel.
I have seen him trying to rebrand himself now that you're saying this on socials.
Yes. And so, he's kind of tried to deny that that was the purpose. And yet at the time, he was happy to let the Washington Post and PBS laud him for these things. But now he's like, oh, no, that's not why I did it. And he has had help in that by some people, like a member of his church, Neil Shenvi, who... I know a lot of people like him. I tend to question his credibility and his sincerity in these issues because I think if you saw it, you would have seen it with your own pastor. But my point being,
what did JD say on race stuff, CRT? He said something. Well, David Platt was the one who said I'd hire a...
Chandler said the Anglo...
Oh, yeah.
I would hire a black 7 over an Anglo 8.
Yeah, okay, that was Matt Chandler, who's also doing a rebrand thing. Have you noticed that too?
Yes, and so that's
sorry,
what
I wasn't really down with that kind of stuff. But isn't there a whole documentary out right now about J.D. Greer?
Well, that one is on a different subject. It's about, and this is a whole other thing that, these are fairly corrupt practices and trying to steal an independent church out from under them. Okay, because I was talking to John Harris about that. Yeah.
But no, it's all the same thing, though.
But it is.
It's just leveraging for power and for position and for influence. All Western civilization as we know it, its foundations are cracking in this country, and you're just trying to get the next big church. You're just trying to be able to run the next institution. It's all the same thing. It's the same impulse. It's vile.
And that's what I'm trying to get at, is that if you believed those things, if I'm a J.D. Greer and I believed those things in 2020, if I believed that the policing system was systemically racist, if I believed that our criminal justice system needed to be overhauled because black people were being mistreated by it, if I believe those things, I don't care if the trends have changed. I don't care if the culture has shifted. I'm going to stick by that principle. But that's not what they're doing, which tells you they never really believed it. So now what they're doing is coming out and saying those things were a coincidence. That's not what they meant. And we can do that all day long, and I will continue to debate those people, because what I want is not for them to reposition. I'm like, if you really want to continue to be a leader in the church, then show your leadership by being transparent and truthful. Do it by saying, I screwed up.
Yeah.
I got caught up in a cultural moment, in a big, trend that was going around. And as I look back on that period and I reflect, I made a mistake. I was wrong. I repent. But they don't do that. What they try to do is bury it and pretend like it never happened. So for that reason, I'm like, there's been no accountability. So no, you do not get to continue to be a leader in the church because you haven't been honest about what your record is.